Hello, everyone. Every page tells a new story.
I killed Mufasa.
Welcome to the world of endless animation. Before I start the movie, this movie is a blend of enjoyment, action, drama. All you need to do at the beginning is to be patient with me to enjoy the dramatic ending. Now, fasten your seatbelts and get ready for the movie. The movie begins in the land of Pride, where goodness prevails for all the animals and birds. They live in harmony, and everything is governed by law, ruled by the royal family, King Mufasa's family. Today is the most important day in the forest, the birth of the crown prince, Simba. All the animals gather at the king's throne, and Uncle Rafiki comes to bless the cub. They take him from his mother, Sarabi, and lift him in front of everyone to greet and welcome the crown prince, Simba. In a memorable encounter, Scar is seen playing with a mouse, about to eat it, but Zazu interrupts him. Someone might say, isn't he the one who distributes? No, he's Zazu, the second friend. Scar is asked why he didn't attend the Crown Prince Simba's welcome party, his nephew. What excuse will he give to Mufasa? Scar replies that he doesn't need to justify anything. Mufasa approaches Scar and says, I haven't saw you at the party today. Scar sarcastically responds, oh, was it the prince's party today? I must have forgotten. Mufasa tells him that he should have been at the front of the line, but Scar retorts that he was always at the front until his nephew came. Mufasa says, Scar, you turn your back on me when I talk to you. Are you challenging me? Scar admits he challenged him once and lost, so he doesn't have the courage to challenge him again. Mufasa tells him that his son will grow and take his place. Scar replies, we'll see about that, King. Mufasa leaves, and Zazu expresses his concern about what to do with Scar. Mufasa says he can't just banish his brother, and as long as he's alive, the land is his. That night, Rafiki is drawing a picture of the new king, Simba, on his tree. The next morning, Simba wakes up early and goes outside. He wakes his father, who is sleeping. Sarabi tells Mufasa that their son is awake. Mufasa tells Simba that before the sun rises, it's his responsibility. Sarabi teases him, saying the sun is already up. Simba reminds his father that he promised to take him outside today. Mufasa takes Simba and explains that everything under the sun is their kingdom. He tells Simba that one day, his sun will set and Simba's sun will rise, and he will rule the forest. Simba asks if everything will be his, and Mufasa explains that it's not about ownership, but the responsibility of protection. Simba mentions protecting everything, including the Black Mountain. Mufasa warns him never to go there. Simba argues that as a king, he can do what he wants. But Mufasa explains that a true king seeks what he can give to his people and land. They discuss the circle of life, where they eat the antelope, and when they die, their bodies become grass, which the antelope eats. It's a circle. Zazu arrives and Mufasa tells Simba to focus on attacking Zazu. Simba attacks, and Zazu pretends to be surprised. Mufasa is delighted with his son. Zazu returns, bringing bad news about the hyenas invading their territory. Mufasa takes Simba back home, leaving Simba in a somber mood. Scar approaches Simba and offers advice on hunting, telling him to stay downwind. Scar tricks Simba into visiting the elephant graveyard, a place only kings and strong lions go. Scar warns him to keep it a secret. Simba returns to his mother, excited to take Nala to the forbidden place, but his mother insists that Zazu accompany them. Simba and Nala devise a plan to ditch Zazu to explore the elephant graveyard. They finish him off. He says to him, did you see my lethal mind? Then you have a royal mind. She says, huh? But I am stronger than you. He says, no, I am the king. Much stronger than you, of course. She approaches him and defeats him easily, saying, now you know I am much stronger than you. He says, wait, look over there. She says, are you trying to trick me? He says, seriously, look. She looks and finds they are inside the tomb of the faithful. They enter inside. She says, that's enough, let's go back. He says, no, we will continue and return to tell them what happened. Do you know what this means? It means they won't treat us like children again. They enter the place and say it's terrifying. They tell each other that the place looks dangerous. She asks, dangerous? He says, I am the danger, ha ha ha. They were scary from the echo of the sound and they were leaving. But the hyenas are surrounding them from every direction, approaching them and they will be killed. But Shenzi tells them, that's the son of King Mufasa. I will start with them first. He says, we will eat the king's son like that, casually. She says, Mufasa banished us from the land of Pride, so he has no rule over us. Simba says, and you won't be able to do anything to me. She says, how, father? When I eat you, I'll remember you were brave. Your father didn't care. Eat him. But Zazu arrives at the place. He says to her, return, Shenzi. If not, you will wage war with Mufasa. She says, Our war with the lions has been ongoing for a long time, but Mufasa's son must die. She attacks him, but Zazu hits her with his wing, and the cubs escape the place. They run, but the hyenas surround them from every direction. They corner them in that corner. Simba says to them, "Give me another chance." He gives him a roar, but it's the sound of the great king. The lions scatter, and no one dares to challenge him. He pushes them away from his son, breaking their bones completely. He says to Shenzi, "If you come near my son again, I won't come here and spare you." He looks at Simba and takes them and leaves, entering the forest. He says to Zazu, "Take him home and leave Simba with me here." He says, "Please, don't be harsh on him." He says, "I must teach my son the lesson. Go, Zazu." He takes him and leaves Simba with him. He takes him and leaves. Mufasa says to Simba, "Come here." As he's going, he steps on a spot with his paw. He says, "The sun sets. That's one paw of mine, and it will shine between my fingers." Mufasa arrives. He says, "You were going to kill yourself today, and the bigger disaster is that you took Nala with you." He says, "I did it to prove to you that I'm brave like you." He says, "I am brave when there's no other solution. I don't run to problems." He says, "But you are not afraid of anything." He says, "Today I was scared." He says, "Really?" He says, "Of course, because I thought I would lose her." He says, "Even kings are afraid." He says, "More than you imagine." He says, "But the hyenas were very scared today." He says, "Because no one can do anything to your father." He says, "No." He continues to play with him here, friends, right? He says, "For sure?" He says, "You will never leave me, right?" He says, "Look, Simba, let me tell you what my father told me a long time ago. Look at the stars. All the kings we met are looking at us from those stars." He says, "Really?" He says, "Indeed, the stars. Whenever you feel alone and confused, look at the stars, and you will always find me waiting. I will always guide you to the right path, just as I do with my father." He says, "But I don't see anyone." He says, "Focus, and you will see them, my son." At this time, the hyena says to his friend, "If I met Mufasa, I would break his bones." He says, "Be careful, he's behind you." He says, "Really, Mufasa?" "But it's not Mufasa, it's Scar." He says, "Fools, I sent Mufasa's son to you. How did he come back alive again?" One of them says, "What do you think if we eat you instead?" He says, "Still, fools, you will eat one meal and then die of hunger. But if you listen to me, you will eat for the rest of your lives from the land of pride." She says, "How will that happen?" And Mufasa is the king of the jungle. He says, "Don't worry, I have a plan to kill him. Since you were banished from the jungle because you eat a lot and your stomach is not full, I will rule the jungle and leave you to hunt and eat as you want." He says to him, "It is not easy at all as you think. All of us, including you, will not be able to do it." The one says to him, "Who told you that we will get in a war with him? We will kill him smartly." In the morning, Scar takes Simba to this place. Simba is kind to him and tells him what happened to him because of the elephant graveyard. Scar tells him, "That's why I brought you here to fix what happened between you and his father. I will make him forget everything you did." He tells him how. He says to him in your huge voice. He says to him seriously. He says to him, "All lions come here to strengthen her throat. You will wait here, and you will continue to strengthen your throat," he tells him. "And my father will be very happy, right?" And he told him this is something that is impossible for him to forget, and he leaves him walking with his hand pointing to the hyenas. Suddenly, the land was shaking Simba. The hyenas ran after the buffalo. An army that is not the first to last keeps running, and Simba keeps running from them, hiding from them. And Scar goes to his brother Mufasa, saying that Simba is cornered between the buffalo. Mufasa is shocked, and Zazu tells him, "I will go to know where he is exactly." Simba is getting stuck in this tree, and Zazu tells him to stand still. "Your father is coming for you now," and Mufasa starts to go down to him. And Scar says to Zazu, "I am going to help him. Go tell the rest of the tribe." In fact, Zazu goes, and Mufasa goes down to the middle of the buffalo and reaches Simba, telling him, "Come, Simba." The buffalo beat the tree and make them away from each other. Simba doesn't stop. He doesn't know how to act, but his father appears out of nowhere and they take him to make him safe in this place, but the buffalo also take him on their way. But one time he comes out from among them and continues up the mountain, and Simba is on the other side. He also comes out, but he does not see his father. Reaching the end of the mountain, but he finds Scar is on his face and says, "Scar, help me, brother." He grabs him by the hands and says, "Goodbye, my king." The traitor catches him and throws him down. Simba sees his father in front of his eyes. He is in complete shock, runs to him, shouting for help, but no one responds. He goes beside him saying, "Dad, get up, let's leave here." Scar approaches him and says, "Simba, what have you done?" He replies, "He wanted to save me. It was an accident." Scar says, "I know it was an accident, but no one else in the pride knows. Everyone will blame you, Simba, because if it weren't for you, none of this would have happened. Your father loved you. How could you do this to him, Simba?" Simba replies, "I didn't mean to. Scar continues, "What will your mother do when she finds out her son killed his father?" Simba, confused, asks, "What do you think is the solution?" Scar tells him, "Run away. Never return here, Simba." And so, Simba runs away from the place. The hyenas are nearby, and Scar orders them to finish him off. They chase Simba, but they can't catch him. He reaches the end of the cliff and falls. Shenzi tells them to ensure he's dead and leaves. One hyena says to another, "Where are you going? A small cub like that must have died from such a fall. Let's go back and tell them we ate him." However, Simba is not dead. He is right below them. He decides to leave the jungle and escape, leaving everything behind. Scar goes to the rest of the pride and announces the death of his brother and nephew, saying it affects them all, but it won't stop their lives. Being the sole heir to the throne, he tells them he will continue his brother's path but can't do it alone. He will create a new empire ruled by lions and hyenas. Everyone is in shock. Rafiki and Zazu see everything from afar. Rafiki thinks it's the end for Simba, who is walking in the desert, not knowing where he's going. Exhausted, he collapses, and vultures gather around him, ready to eat him. But Timon and Pumbaa arrive and chase them away. Pumbaa says, "I was about to catch one of them." Timon replies, "There's a small lion on the ground." Pumbaa says, "It's a small lion. What do you know about these things? Let's see what it is." Timon says, "It's a lion. He'll eat us." Pumbaa replies, "Relax, it's a small lion. We'll feed him, and when he grows up, he'll protect us both." Timon says, "Are you crazy? You think after we raise him, he'll eat us?" Pumbaa replies, "Impossible. He'll get used to us." Timon says, "No, I think we should keep him with us. Raise him, and when he grows, he'll protect us both." Pumbaa responds, "Really? You're the mastermind here." Simba wakes up and Timon says, "Thank God you're safe, sir. I personally gave you first aid and saved you." Simba leaves them, and Pumbaa asks, "What's bothering you?" Simba replies, "I caused a disaster and don't want to talk about it." Timon says, "No matter what happened, you can't change the past, but you can change your future." Simba asks, "How?" Timon replies, "By escaping the past." Simba says, "That's not what I learned." Timon says, "Then you need a new lesson. Hakuna Matata." Pumbaa adds, "Hakuna Matata, my friend, means no worries." They take him with them, and he lives among them, eating their food and becoming one of them, peaceful with life. He grows up among them, and they become his closest friends. Meanwhile, in his kingdom, the jungle is in ruins. Scar and his hyenas hunt in the jungles, and the hyenas are not satisfied. The lions have nothing to eat, and the remaining animals leave the jungle due to the massacre happening to them. Nala has grown up, sees the situation, and doesn't know what to do. Zazu tells them the situation is dire, and the last herd of buffalo is about to leave the jungle, leading to a famine. Scar and his followers are present, and Nala says they need to act. Sarabi tells her that Scar is the king, but Nala insists they must leave. Sarabi says they can't leave the jungle and their homes. Shenzi enters and tells Sarabi that Scar wants to see her. She goes to him, and he asks why she hasn't opened her heart to him. Sarabi tells him he's hunting foolishly, leading to a famine. Scar says he hunts easily because he has an army of hyenas. Sarabi says the hyenas never get full, and their presence will destroy them all. Scar tells her she always had a big heart but never chose the right partner. She chose Mufasa long ago, and now he's gone. Scar is the king and offers her a life of luxury if she opens her heart to him. Sarabi refuses, saying she'd never marry a hyena. Scar declares that from now on, the lions will eat each other, and the hyenas won't leave anything behind. At night, everyone is asleep, and Nala escapes the pride. In the morning, Simba goes out with his friends for breakfast, eating a mix of beetles, cockroaches, and grubs in butter, a disgusting meal. They continue eating this food until the end of the day. Before they sleep, Timon asks Pumbaa if he knows what's in the sky. Pumbaa says he doesn't know. Timon says he's not asking him because he knows everything. It's a light, a service from the world. Timon says, "What do you think, Simba? What's shining in the sky?" Simba replies, "I don't know." Timon says, "A long time ago, someone told me the kings are watching us from above and they can hear everything we say." They laugh at him, and Simba feels sad, taking a corner by himself. As he shakes his body, some hair flies off, and the hair travels in the air, falls into the water, and a bird takes it and places it in its nest. The hair doesn't please the female bird, so she throws it out. It falls on a tree, and a gazelle eats it, digesting it. The piece of hair ends up in the gazelle's droppings, which a beetle rolls away until it splits in two. The hair emerges and moves to the desert. The wind carries the hair, and an ant picks it up and climbs a tree, which is Rafiki's tree. He grabs the hair, and he knows it's from Simba's hair. He gets very happy and says, "King Simba is still alive." At this time, Timon and Pumbaa are singing, gathering animals around them. But suddenly, a leopard attacks them, leaving Pumbaa in a state. They surround him in this place. The lion, Simba, attacks her, but she turns and puts her hands on him. She says, Nala tells him, Simba, are you really? He says to her, indeed I am, Simba. He gets very happy. She tells him how everyone thought you were dead. He takes her. In a hug, he says to her, this is Timon and Pumbaa, my dearest friends. This is Nala, my childhood friend. Come, Nala. This place is a masterpiece. We will live in it, you and me, together. She tells him, you must return to the Pride Lands, O king, who says that he is the king. He is useless. Simba tells her it's not the right time. Come with me. I'll show you the place, and gives her a tour of the place. They get closer to each other and they get married, and Timon and Pumbaa are witnesses. The next day, he wakes up and tells her, will you stay with me? She tells him, no, you will come back with me, Simba. He tells her, where and to whom should I return? She tells him, return to your home and your kingdom. Scar destroyed the forest. I came here looking for anyone to help us, and I found you alive. You are our only hope, Simba. He says, I don't care about everything you said. I will never return to that place again. She tells him to let it be. She leaves him and walks away. He keeps walking by himself. Sadness overwhelms him. He finds Uncle Rafiki in front of him. He says, how are you, Simba? He says, who are you? He says, I have known you for years. Didn't you know your father? He says, my father? What? He says, wrong. Your father is still alive, and if you want to see him, come with me. He tells him where, and he runs after him until he reaches the water. He tells him to look in the water. He looks and says, that's me. He tells him, no, focus a little. He looks again and sees his father in front of him. He hears his voice coming from the sky saying, Simba, return to your place. You are the king, the ruler of the Pride Lands. Return and save the forest. He tells him, I'm not like you to save them. He tells him, you are my son and the heir to my courage. I live inside you, Simba. He tells him that was a long time ago. He tells him, no, my son, this is forever. Return, Simba, and remember who you are and whose son you are. Return, my son. Return, Simba. Return, Simba. Uncle Rafiki. What matters is his father's words affect him, and he runs to the forest and reaches Nala. He tells her, why are you walking slowly? Come run with me. She asks him, where to? He tells her to our home, and indeed, they reach the forest. Simba is shocked when he sees the state they have reached. Zazu is present in the place. He tells him, welcome back, your majesty. He says, how are you, Zazu? Timon and Pumbaa are present in the place. He tells him, we are with you in the battle. He enters a little inside. They find the hyenas scattered in the place. Timon tells them, how will we enter, Simba? He tells them, we will need bait to distract them from here. They look at Pumbaa and say, exactly. We need someone plump and juicy like a warthog, and just to their taste. Why are you all looking at me like that, folks? And indeed, Pumbaa goes to them, and Timon tells them, stop, guys, a delicious meal. Enough for 300 of you. They chase after them, and Simba enters inside. At that time, Scar tells Sarabai, why are you still stubborn, not agreeing to marry me? Now, I am 10 times better than Mufasa. She tells him, shut up, you fool, and don't compare yourself again. Anyway, Scar gets angry and attacks her, about to kill her, but Simba arrives in the place. Scar says, Mufasa, impossible. He tells him, stay away from my mother, you fool. His mother tells him, Simba, you're still alive. He tells her, I'm with you, Mom. I return to my home again. Scar tells him, Simba, I'm very happy with your return and that you're still alive. The hyenas are shocked, and Simba tells him, give me one reason to let you live. He tells him, more than one reason. I have a hyena army here. No, she tells him, we are with Simba. Simba is the rightful ruler of the forest. Go, Simba. We are all behind you. Or are you not with us, lions? He tells him, we are with you. Simba tells him, the choice is yours, Scar. Take a side to sit in, or go to war with us. He tells him, you are the only one who knows I hate violence, Simba. But you were once the reason I was banished from the family. He tells him, your words no longer affect me. Scar, a stage of my life has passed. He tells him, and will it pass from their lives? Will you tell them how your father died? Or should I tell them, Simba? His mother tells him, what's the story, Simba? Scar tells her, the story is that your son is the reason for your husband's death. Everyone is shocked, and Sarai tells him to say that this is wrong, Simba. He tells her that what he said is true. Scar tells him that whoever killed must be killed. He tells them, no, I didn't say that. This was an accident. He keeps going back to it, and it will happen. But Scar tells him, it's a witness. This situation is familiar to me. Oh, exactly like your father died in front of me. I'll tell you the last secret you'll ever hear in your life. I'm the one who killed Mufasa. Simba is shocked and grabs him from the hair on his neck, tells him, you killed my father. Who is your brother? Tells them, "This is a liar. He wants to kill me like he killed his father." He tells him, "That's what you do. The one who killed my father, tell them the truth." Sarah tells him, "Scar, you said that you arrived at the corridor at the right time." He tells her, "Sure." She says to him, "How did you know everything that happened there?" Simba tells him, "It's a criminal." Scar says to the hyenas to kill them. The hyenas attacked Simba, and the war is breaking out, my friend. Timon and Pumbaa were surrounded, and Pumbaa says to him, "Timon, I am no longer afraid of them." He attacks them with his horns and breaks their entire bone. "At this time in Shinzo there was a time where I was going to eat you, but nothing happened." She tells her that today I am the one who will eat you, and don't worry about it. They attacked each other, and Zazu will also be with them in the battle. The hyenas put it down and are ready to eat it, but Rafiki comes and breaks their bones with a stick, and the monster Simba does not see anyone in front of him. He looks at Scar. He finds him and runs away from her. He runs after him and Scar has no way out to escape from him. He says to Simba, "Are you going to kill your uncle Simba?" "My son, I brought the hyenas here to get rid of them all." He even tells him the hyenas wanted to deceive them as they had deceived me in the past. He told him to calm down, Simba. "I am at your command. Tell me what pleases you, and I will do it." He says to him, "Run, run, Scar. Run away, and you will not come back here." The second one tells him, "Your command, King," but he turned to the other side. He hits him in the face with fire. They go down with some banging, but Simba controls him, force him to fall under his spear. Nothing happens, but he finds all of the hyenas blaming him, and he calls them my friends. "My beloved, we will make a new plan and get rid of Simba with it. You were telling Simba that you brought us here to get rid of us. Not like that or what, Oscar?" He tells them, "I was laughing at him." They doesn't listen to him, and they go out to bite him. They return her to their places, and Simba and his family was very happy that Simba has returned, and he is on his throne. He greets his family and his family greets him. Months pass, days pass, and everything goes back to how it was. Simba and Nal, born the new crown prince, and all the animals come to welcome him. And here the movie ends. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to get more new videos. See you next time.